Roger Clemens, a name that resonates like few others in the world of baseball, is much more than just a player. He is a legend, a giant who dominated the mound for over 2 decades, accumulating feats that seem unattainable even for the greatest talents. But behind the impressive numbers and memorable performances lies a figure as complex as it is fascinating. Clemens was adored by millions, hated by just as many, and his legacy continues to be the subject of intense debate. I'm Alder Santos, and welcome to our channel, Baseball Legends. What makes his story so captivating is the combination of unmatched skill, fierce ambition, and the controversy that accompanied every step of his journey. Get ready to learn about the highs and lows of an athlete who redefined the game and left indelible marks in the history of the sport. From the beginning of his career, Clemens showed that he was no ordinary player. He had unmatched determination, a work ethic that defied limits, and a presence on the field that intimidated even the best batters. When he took the mound, he wasn't just playing baseball. He was commanding a spectacle where every pitch was a demonstration of strategy and power. But what really made Roger Clemens such a unique figure? How did a kid from Dayton, Ohio, transform into the Rocket, one of the greatest pitchers in history? His journey is filled with iconic moments, overwhelming victories and broken records, but also controversies that challenged everything he had built. Watch this video until the end to discover the most fascinating and controversial details of Roger Clemens' career, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And now we want to know your opinion. Does Clemens deserve to be remembered as an untouchable legend, or do the controversies tarnish his legacy? Leave your comment below and join this epic discussion. In this video, we will dive deep into Roger Clemens' career and life, exploring not only his extraordinary achievements, but also the shadows that loom over his legacy. We will talk about the Cy Young Awards, legendary games, and moments of glory, but also about the doping allegations and off-field challenges that shaped his story. After all, how did such a brilliant figure manage to inspire so much love, while also arousing so many doubts? Stay with us as we unravel the secrets and mysteries behind one of the greatest names baseball has ever seen. Roger Clemens, widely known as the Rocket, is one of the most iconic and polarizing figures in baseball history. Over his impressive 24-season career in Major League Baseball, MLB, Clemens not only redefined the role of a dominant pitcher, but also left a legacy that continues to be discussed by fans and critics. In this video, we will dive deep into Roger Clemens' life and career, exploring his accomplishments, controversies, and impact on the sport. Born on August 4, 1962, in Dayton, Ohio, William Roger Clemens grew up in Houston, Texas, where he developed his love for baseball. During his formative years, Clemens stood out in high school, but it was at the University of Texas in Austin that he began to gain national attention. In 1983, he led the Longhorns to the College World Series title, solidifying his reputation as one of the best college pitchers in the country. In the same year, Clemens was selected in the first round of the MLB draft by the Boston Red Sox. He quickly climbed through the ranks of the team, making his league debut in 1984. In 1986, Clemens had a historic season, winning the Cy Young Award and the American League MVP. He became the first pitcher since Vita Blue in 1971 to win both awards in the same season. His 20-strikeout game against the Seattle Mariners that year is still considered one of the most dominant performances of all time. During his 13 years with the Red Sox, Clemens accumulated a series of impressive feats, including 3 Cy Young Awards. However, his relationship with the team was not always smooth. At the end of the 1996 season, Clemens left Boston and signed with the Toronto Blue Jays, a move many considered surprising. In Toronto, Clemens proved that he was still at the peak of his career. He won 2 consecutive Cy Young Awards in 1997 and 1998, leading the league in ERA and strikeouts in both seasons. His ability to reinvent himself and dominate in a new environment was a testament to his dedication to physical and mental preparation. In 1999, Clemens was traded to the New York Yankees, where he won 2 World Series titles in 1999 and 2000. During his time with the Yankees, he continued to impress, reaching significant milestones, such as his 300th win and his 4,000th strikeout in the same game in 2003. Clemens was an unmatched force on the mound, combining raw power with a technical intelligence that baffled the best batters. After leaving the Yankees in 2003, Clemens signed with the Houston Astros, his hometown team. He continued to defy expectations, winning another Cy Young Award in 2004 at the age of 42. His longevity and ability to adapt to the changing game made him an example for generations of pitchers. Throughout his career, Clemens accumulated a total of 7 Cy Young Awards, the most ever by a pitcher. He was also selected to 11 All-Star games and led the league in strikeouts for 5 seasons. His statistical legacy is undeniable: 354 wins for 1,672 strikeouts and an ERA of 3.12 in over 4,900 innings pitched. However, Clemens' career was also marked by controversies. In 2007, he was named in the Mitchell Report, a document detailing the use of performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, in baseball. Clemens vehemently denied the allegations and even testified before the U.S. Congress to defend his innocence. Despite never being officially punished by MLB, the allegations tarnished his reputation and complicated his eligibility for the Hall of Fame. Despite the controversies, Clemens' impact on the game is undeniable. He redefined what it means to be a dominant pitcher and inspired a generation of players to pursue excellence. His approach to training, focus, and intensity on the mound are qualities still admired by fans and peers alike. Off the field, Clemens was also involved in community activities, supporting charitable organizations and local events. He used his fame to raise funds for various causes, showing a human side that was often overshadowed by the intensity of his game. To this day, Roger Clemens remains one of the greatest pitchers of all time. His legacy is a combination of unparalleled achievements and a complex narrative that reflects both the triumphs and challenges of a legendary career. Clemens is a reminder that greatness in sports often comes with complexity, and his story will continue to be told by future generations. Roger Clemens' journey in baseball was not only defined by his performance on the field, but also by memorable moments that highlighted his competitiveness and winning mentality. One emblematic example occurred during the 2000 World Series, when Clemens faced the New York Mets in one of the most controversial games of his career. In Mike Piazza's first turn at bat, Clemens threw a fastball that broke Piazza's bat. The tip of the bat flew toward Clemens, who, in a moment of instinct or frustration, threw the piece of wood toward first base, near Piazza. This incident fueled tensions and highlighted the intensity Clemens brought to each game, reflecting his personality on the mound. Another fascinating aspect of Clemens was his dedication to his physical condition. Throughout his career, he was known for following a rigorous training and recovery routine, especially as he aged. He adopted innovative techniques to maintain his strength and endurance, including the use of modern therapies for muscle recovery and mental focus. This discipline was crucial to his longevity, allowing him to remain competitive in a demanding sport even in his 40s. Additionally, Clemens was famous for his meticulous preparation before every game. He would study opposing batters' patterns extensively, always looking for ways to exploit weaknesses. This level of preparation gave him a significant advantage over opponents and contributed to his memorable performances. Clemens' legacy is also intrinsically linked to his competitive personality. He was known as a fierce competitor who accepted nothing less than excellence. This mentality often caused tension with opponents and even teammates, but it was also what made him one of the most respected athletes for his work ethic. Even after his retirement, Clemens continued to be a prominent figure in baseball. He frequently serves as a mentor to young players and shares his experiences at training clinics. His passion for the game remains evident, and he often appears at MLB events and on sports broadcasts, analyzing games with his sharp pitcher's perspective. Roger Clemens is undoubtedly one of the most polarizing figures in baseball. His achievements on the mound are unmatched, but the controversies surrounding his career add layers of complexity to his narrative. He is a living testament that the greatest sports legends are often those who challenge the norms and spark debates. In addition to his legendary career and the controversies that surrounded it, Roger Clemens also had a significant impact on how the role of the pitcher is viewed in modern baseball. His approach to the game went beyond sheer talent. He demonstrated that being a great pitcher requires a combination of strategic intelligence, physical preparation, and a competitive mindset. Clemens was also a master at adapting his playing style as he aged. Early in his career, he relied heavily on the raw power of his fastball, which often reached speeds above 96 miles per hour, around 155 kilometers per hour. However, as time passed and his velocity slightly decreased, he compensated by honing his accuracy and diversifying his pitch repertoire, including deadly curves and sharp sliders. This ability to adapt was one of the reasons Clemens was able to remain dominant in an ever-evolving league. Moreover, he was known for his intimidating presence on the mound. Clemens wasn't afraid to challenge batters, throwing high and inside pitches to establish dominance, and at the same time, send a message that he was in control. This approach, though controversial, was effective and exemplified his uncompromising competitive nature. Another fascinating aspect of his career was the rivalry with some of the biggest stars in baseball. His battles against players like Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, and Frank Thomas generated some of the most memorable moments of the 1990s and 2000s. These rivalries helped shape the narrative of MLB during his era and cemented Clemens' position as one of the greatest competitors in history. Off the field, Clemens maintained consistent involvement with the community. He organized and participated in numerous charitable events, using his platform to help underprivileged children and promote a love for the sport. His annual charity golf tournament raised millions of dollars for various organizations, reflecting his commitment to making a difference beyond the mound. Another important point in his career was the cultural impact he generated. Clemens was much more than a player. He was a public figure who transcended the sport. During the 1990s and early 2000s, his name was synonymous with excellence in baseball. He appeared in commercials, TV shows, and even events outside of sports, consolidating his status as one of the most recognized athletes of his time. However, the debate about his eligibility for the Hall of Fame remains one of the most heated discussions in the baseball world. Despite his impressive statistics and achievements, the scandal surrounding the use of banned substances has been a significant barrier. Many argue that his accomplishments are enough to guarantee his inclusion, while others believe that the use of PEDs undermines his legitimacy as a sports legend. Clemens, for his part, has always defended his innocence. He frequently emphasizes the hard work he dedicated throughout his career and the passion he always had for the game. For him, baseball was not just a sport, but a vocation that required full commitment. Even outside the spotlight, Clemens remains an influential figure. He is often seen at MLB training camps, where he shares his knowledge with young pitchers. His presence in these environments not only motivates new talents, but also serves as a reminder of the excellence he achieved. Roger Clemens' story is one of the most fascinating in baseball. He embodies the highs and lows of a career in elite sports, showing that the path to greatness is rarely simple. His achievements remain undeniable, while his controversies raise important questions about ethics and legacy in sports. Clemens' impact, both positive and controversial, will continue to be debated by fans and historians. But one thing is certain: his mark on baseball is eternal. In addition to the debate about his eligibility for the Hall of Fame, Roger Clemens' figure also raises a broader question about how we handle the era of banned substances in baseball. Clemens belongs to a generation of players whose legacy was, in many cases, overshadowed by the widespread use of PEDs. This creates a dilemma for historians and fans. How do we balance recognizing athletic achievements with the need to maintain the integrity of the game? Some argue that Clemens and other players from the same era should not be punished solely for their associations with banned substances, especially considering that many of their contemporaries faced the same pressures and made similar decisions. Others argue that the inclusion of players tied to PED use in the Hall of Fame could send the wrong message, suggesting that the use of banned substances can be overlooked in favor of impressive statistics. Regardless of where you stand in this debate, it's undeniable that Clemens was a revolutionary force on the mound. He not only changed the way the game was played, but also influenced the training and preparation of pitchers throughout the league. His intensity and dedication to the sport, from exhausting physical training sessions to meticulous opponent analysis, set a standard that many pitchers followed. Another interesting aspect is how Clemens dealt with pressure. During the playoffs, he often elevated his game, delivering memorable performances in crucial moments. His ability to shine under high pressure made him one of the most reliable pitchers of his time. Fans of the New York Yankees, for instance, fondly remember his performances in October, which helped the franchise win 2 World Series titles. One of the most memorable games of his career came in 2000 during the World Series between the Yankees and the New York Mets. Clemens starred in a controversial moment when, facing Mike Piazza, he threw a piece of Piazza's broken bat in his direction. The incident generated huge media attention, highlighting both Clemens' fierce competitiveness and his tendency to get involved in controversial situations. Still, his ability to channel that intensity into excellence on the mound is what set him apart. Clemens was obsessed with winning, and that mindset permeated all his actions on the field. He often said that baseball was as much a mental game as a physical one, and his career is a testament to that philosophy. Off the field, Clemens also played a role as a mentor. Many young pitchers who passed through teams Clemens played for speak about how he was always willing to share his experience and knowledge. He believed that success in baseball came from the ability to pass on what he had learned, creating a legacy that transcended his own accomplishments. However, as time passes, Clemens' story becomes more of a study in complexity. His journey reflects both greatness and human flaws, offering lessons on how the pursuit of excellence can be both inspiring and imperfect. He was an athlete who did whatever it took to win, and that unwavering determination continues to fascinate fans around the world. When considering Roger Clemens' impact on baseball, it is important to remember that he played in one of the most competitive eras of the sport. He faced some of the greatest hitters in history and still managed to establish numbers that place his name among the best of all time. This combination of talent, hard work, and an intense personality is what makes him such a remarkable figure. Roger Clemens' story continues to be written, not only through his accomplishments on the field, but also through the discussions he sparks about ethics, legacy, and the evolution of baseball. Whether you see him as a hero, a villain, or something in between, it is impossible to deny his importance in the landscape of the sport. In addition to all the nuances of his career, it's important to highlight how Clemens influenced future generations of players. His meticulous approach to the game, which included studying batter positioning, adjusting his pitches based on opponents' weaknesses and maintaining a rigorous physical regime, became a model followed by numerous athletes. He firmly believed that success came from hard work away from the spotlight, which was essential to his longevity in the sport. Another factor contributing to the construction of his legacy was the rivalry Clemens had with some of baseball's greatest names. He loved competing against the best and seemed to thrive in those moments. For example, his duels against players like Ken Griffey Jr., Cal Ripken Jr., and Barry Bonds became must-see moments for baseball fans. These matchups were not just games. They were true spectacles of strategy and talent. Roger Clemens' impact extends beyond his statistics and memorable performances. He brought attention to the critical role a pitcher can play in a team's dynamic. On many occasions, he was the player his teammates trusted to change the course of a game or secure a crucial victory. His presence on the mound often intimidated opponents, creating an aura of invincibility that few other pitchers ever achieved. However, like every great sports figure, Clemens also faced significant challenges off the field. Congressional hearings and public scrutiny related to accusations of PD use not only tested his reputation, but also the resilience of his career. Even so, Clemens continued to assert his innocence, maintaining a firm stance that divided opinions among fans. Some see Clemens as a victim of an era when the use of banned substances was more widespread than admitted. Others believe he made choices that compromised his sport's integrity. This duality, however, is part of what makes his story so fascinating. He is both a sports hero and a controversial figure, encapsulating the complexity of the human experience. Even after his retirement, Clemens remained a prominent figure in baseball. He frequently appears at special events, commemorative games, and ceremonies celebrating the sport's great achievements. Additionally, he has shared his knowledge as a mentor and advisor to young athletes, ensuring his passion for the game continues to influence future generations. One of the most notable aspects of his post-career is how he tries to balance his sports legacy with his personal life. Clemens is a dedicated father, often seen supporting his children in their own athletic careers. He is also involved in various philanthropic activities, using his platform to help communities and charitable organizations. Ultimately, Roger Clemens' story is a reminder that sports legends are just as human as the rest of us. They face challenges, make tough decisions, and live with the consequences of those choices. In Clemens' case, his greatness on the mound is undeniable, but it is his complexity as a person and athlete that makes his story so intriguing. While we concluded the video reflecting on Roger Clemens' legacy, there is still more to explore about how his presence impacted the sports and cultural landscape. Clemens wasn't just a player. He became a symbol of baseball during a transitional era. In the 1980s and 1990s, when the sport faced significant changes like the increasing media presence and the growth of sports marketing, Clemens was at the center of it, representing the balance between the tradition of the game and modern evolution. He was often compared to legends from previous generations, such as Sandy Koufax and Bob Gibson, but Clemens brought something unique: the ability to adapt and thrive in a game that was changing rapidly. His longevity in the sport, especially as a pitcher, was unusual. Players like him rarely remain effective for so many seasons, and that placed him on a level of excellence that few could reach. Moreover, Roger Clemens' cultural impact was profound. He became one of the most recognizable faces in MLB, starring in commercials, appearing on TV shows, and even being featured in video games. These contributions helped popularize baseball to a wider audience, attracting new fans to the sport. He wasn't just a player for hardcore fans. Clemens transcended the game and became a pop culture figure, recognized by those who didn't always follow baseball closely. However, Clemens' notoriety off the field also brought challenges. The intense media scrutiny during the years of controversy with PEDs was a reminder of the pressure that big stars face. He was constantly under the spotlight, and any move, on or off the field, was amplified. For Clemens, that meant he not only had to deal with the pressure of playing, but also with the responsibility of representing the sport on a broader level. Many believe that Clemens' case and his fight against the allegations of using banned substances shed light on the need for greater transparency and regulation in MLB. Regardless of how each person interprets his story, it is undeniable that he played a central role in opening the debate about ethics in sports and competitive integrity. For some, this tainted his legacy. For others, he is seen as someone who reflected the challenges of a complicated era in baseball. Another important aspect of Clemens' impact was his ability to inspire players worldwide. His intensity, discipline, and work ethic were legendary, and this resonated especially with young athletes. During interviews and baseball clinics, Clemens often emphasized the importance of practice, mental preparation, and total commitment to the sport. He believed that baseball was as much a mental test as a physical one, and this mindset deeply resonated with those aspiring to follow in his footsteps. Finally, while the debate over his inclusion in the Hall of Fame continues, it's important to remember that Roger Clemens is much more than the controversies that surrounded his career. He is one of the most complex and influential figures in baseball history, someone whose impact will be felt for generations. His story is a blend of glory and challenges, but above all, it is a human narrative about what it means to pursue excellence on a global stage. Roger Clemens' story in baseball, with all its highs and lows, reflects what the sport represents: dedication, overcoming obstacles, talent, but also imperfections and personal challenges. He stood out for his ability to dominate on the mound, his work ethic, and his relentless pursuit of improvement. However, the scandals and controversies that marked his journey, especially regarding the use of banned substances, also show us that, in the end, the greatest sports icons are essentially human. The line between perfection and failure is often thin, and Clemens, despite all his success, wasn't immune to this complexity. However, we cannot forget that within the four lines, what he accomplished was exceptional, and the legacy he built with his skill and longevity transcends any shadow that may have emerged. Roger Clemens teaches us that baseball, like many other sports, is more than just a physical competition. It is a reflection of character, mentality, and the ability to cope with the ups and downs of life. The mental preparation Clemens possessed was one of his greatest virtues. He knew what he needed to do to achieve success, and this included immense dedication, physical and mental preparation. His ability to overcome obstacles and reinvent himself over the years is an important lesson for anyone aspiring to achieve great things, whether in sports, a career, or personal life. On the other hand, the controversies that marked his career also show us how an athlete's legacy can be shaped by both their achievements and their mistakes. Clemens, like many other athletes, faced the pressures of fame and the temptations that come with it. The doping scandal left a stain on his image, opening an important discussion about ethical limits in sports and the consequences of crossing them. The line between using substances to enhance performance and the desire to compete at the highest level is an issue that continues to be debated, not only in baseball, but across various sports worldwide. However, if we pause to reflect on the true essence of the sport, we will see that Clemens' legacy goes beyond the controversies. Baseball is, above all, about skill, emotion, overcoming challenges, and moments that stay in fans' memories. What Clemens did throughout his career, overcoming the greatest challenges, dominating with his mound skills, and representing the elite of the sport, deserves to be remembered. He showed us that when you have talent, dedication, and a competitive spirit, it is possible to reach the top. But he also taught us that in sports, ethics and honesty are just as important as technical skill. There is also something to be said about the longevity of his career. Clemens' ability to stay relevant and competitive, even as the years passed, is a lesson in the importance of adaptation and constant evolution. In baseball, the ability to pitch can diminish with age, but a great player's mind can remain sharp and capable of overcoming challenges. This reflects how an athlete's mentality can be just as crucial as their physical skills. Clemens, by reinventing himself over the years, showed that lasting success in sports is not just about raw talent, but a willingness to evolve and adjust. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content, and turn on the bell for notifications. And don't forget to leave your comment. Finally, while the debate over his inclusion in the Hall of Fame continues, it's important to remember that Roger Clemens is much more than the controversies that surrounded his career. He is one of the most complex and influential figures in baseball history, someone whose impact will be felt for generations. His story is a blend of glory and challenges, but above all, it is a human narrative about what it means to pursue excellence on a global stage. And so, we conclude another reflection on the legacy of a true sports legend. Roger Clemens will continue to be discussed and analyzed by fans, historians, and critics, but one thing is certain: he left an indelible mark on baseball. Thank you for following this detailed content. Stay with us for more in-depth stories and analyses about the greatest sports stars. Until next time, dear baseball fans,